When we judge, when we judge other people and we judge ourselves, we are doing a disservice to ourselves. When we judge, we become the judge, the jury, and the jailer. And we suffer and we limit ourselves. There's no such thing as failure, only feedback, opportunity to improve. Now, we might have had many failures, but those failures, we do not know at this particular moment how that is going to lead to our greatest moment, our greatest contribution to the world and to ourselves. I want to share with you a little about the word and the concept of projection. When we see someone do something, or there's something about somebody else or some situation, and it bothers us, we have to ask the question, turn it around. What is it about that that bothers me about me? Take ownership of it. Because anytime we notice something that bothers us, it's something in ourselves that we have not resolved. So when we look at someone and there's something we really love, that's something in ourselves that we love about ourselves, and maybe we have not properly explored it. And something that someone does that bothers us or about them, it's something in ourselves that we have not explored in ourselves. Now, there's a story, a parable, that I always reflect on since I heard it when I was a little kid, and it has to be about Moses. Now, you're probably wondering, why is he using this metaphor about Moses? Because it's something that we can actually project onto and come to an understanding about how the world works, how it really works. You know, when someone takes you aside and says, kid, this is how the world works. So I believe this story, for me, actually shares why many of my failures and your failures are opportunities that we have yet taken advantage of. So the story starts like this. Moses is now in the court of Pharaoh. And Pharaoh likes this little boy, and he plays with him. And this little 2.5-year-old grabs Pharaoh's crown. And one of the advisors to Pharaoh says, this is a bad omen. We have to put this little boy to death because he wants to be Pharaoh. And Pharaoh thinks about it. And another advisor to Pharaoh says, he's just a baby. Well, let's do a test to see if he really wants Pharaoh's crown or if he was just a kid. And he devises a test. And the test is having two big bowls. One bowl has the crown and many jewels, shiny jewels, and the other one has a lot of hot coals. Well, the truth is, little Moses wants the crown. He does. He likes the shininess. He wants the respect. He knows enough to know that that's what he wants, and he's reaching towards it. And God sends down an angel and bumps Moses. And Moses then turns towards the bowl with the hot coals, which are hot and shiny and red. And Moses grabs it and he puts a coal to his tongue and he burns it. And that action that is outside of Moses's awareness or comprehension as a 2.5-year-old creates where we are right now by being able to tell the story of Moses. Because there's so many things that happen outside of our awareness. Because Moses burning his tongue gave him his humility and allowed him to accumulate further experiences. So when time happened, when he was 80 years old, he was able to step forward and he was able to take his rightful position with humility. So all our failures, and that was a huge failure for Moses, led to the opportunity for him to step forward to live his greatest moments with humility. And now, 3,700 years later, I'm telling you the story about how Moses learned his first humility and actually had his greatest failure. And also at the time, if you were to be Moses, you would think that was a huge detriment. Our greatest failures are our greatest opportunities to grow. And that's the message I want to share. I think that we are going through a great change, and many things that once worked for us aren't now. And it is the greatest opportunity to go within, to gather our strength, which is always there, to learn, and then to add our contribution. Because the greatest opportunities to contribute only come about when we take ownership of our failures and see them as our greatest teachers. So go out and have an incredible day and go out and make a difference. And the first person you should be making that difference with is yourself, by coming to terms with yourself. And once you do that, you will be able to make a difference which will change the world. One person, one action at a time.